Okie dokie, let's go and jump to ranked games with a random character and see what we're going to get today. So it looks like we're playing a typical Berserker. We do start off with a utility pouch. However, we also got ourselves a puzzle badge on sale, which is going to be awesome. So we definitely want to grab ourselves the frying pan, we definitely want to grab ourselves the wooden sword, and we want to grab you too. Now the question is, our weapon is going to be extremely slow for the first 5 seconds with a utility pouch, because it does attack 30% slower, with another 20% slower as well. So are we really going to rock with this? Potentially. I also want to grab a piggy bank for extra monies. That's going to be awesome. And I want to roll. I was really hoping for a banana. Now I'm looking at this shiny shell because we could try to keep us a little bit more healthy by taking him. You know, I will be taking him. We have no real start battle effects. Make sure our shiny shell is not beside our puzzle badge because we really do not want to slow it down. You've been on sale, I kind of want to grab it. The question is, do we want to grab ourselves a whetstone to craft up a hero sword? Or do we want to craft up a shovel? Or do we want to grab both? I think we grab both, but we're going to be in a pretty tough spot to win out, since we're going to be going way too slow. This has a 3.3 second cooldown. Holy moly, that's going to be slow, but after the first 5 seconds, it's going to be going super fast. We do enter battle rage, and now it's going to be triggering every 1.8 seconds. And hell yeah, we actually did managed to win out. Remember, that's a double broom. Double broom for double awesomeness. Let's go ahead and grab our whetstone. Let's go ahead and craft you up. And I did want to grab the broom too. As well as the freaking healing herbs, the stone. Let's roll once, looking for some storage. Buy every bag on sale because we could get some puzzle bags of love. And I do want this big old banana as well. So we're definitely going to be crafting up the shovel along with the hero sword. We're going to use our puzzle badge in this positioning. And yeah, I'm ready to move on. We should be able to get our damage with our garlic. The only problem is triple weapons. Stamina is going to be really, really bad. That's why we needed that big old banana. However, are we going to be able to survive this? Potentially, if we do survive for 5 seconds, we get our battle rage, but it's just not enough. Arm to darkness, just doing a lot of work for our opponents. However, we did get a shovel along with a hero sword. Now, since we have the puzzle badge, we could grab some bags of love. Does any subclass really give us healing? It would be awesome for a Deerwood Guardian actually. It would allow us to heal for a lot more if we did want that. But I'm also looking at these Tiger Runes for a bunch of vampirism stacking. With the puzzle bag of improvements, we can duplicate the buffs we get from it. So that's going to be awesome. So maybe we actually want to go for a false life type situation and try to overheal like crazy. Yeah, I think I'm going to take it. Spear on sale. Maybe we want to grab that as well. You know, I will take it along with the banana, along with the stone, and let's roll once. And I'm going to be selling this little chipped amethyst to go ahead and grab another bag. And we did get a puzzle bag of love, even more awesome. And I'm thinking about moving on with this situation for now. Puzzle badge is going to be targeting our spear to speed that up along with a shovel. And we also got our spear to do a little bit more damage for us too. And we do have to survive, which I'm looking for one of our own health pots, just so we don't get bursted down immediately. So once we enter battle rage, we get a ton of life steal, we move everything faster with our puzzle badge. And awesome, we just need to survive that initial few hits. Let's grab our puzzle badge. Or a puzzle bag of love. Let's grab the bag of stones. We could craft up Sir Satin. That would guarantee a lot safer to get to our 5 seconds, but I'm not going to take it. Again, buy every bag on sale, and I really want to grab ourselves another shiny shell. Now we're at a small bit of a predicament, because I really do want our setup to be something like this. Although we could switch it. Have our stones like this, and then also have you here, but then we also need our banana in that position too. Actually, I think this is going to be pretty decent the way it is. Now, we're not really making use of our spear, but it's going to have to do. Let's rock on with this. Next round, I'm going to be looking to craft up a Shelly. A Shelly is going to be really, really nice with a puzzle badge of love, with the puzzle badge as well. But we are facing a mage with a freaking badger spear with the investment opportunity. They're going to get a lot of max life. We're doing some pretty decent damage with our stones, with our shovel, with our spear, and we are healing quite a bit as well. The only thing is, our stamina after that 5 seconds is crazy bad. However, looking like we might have the advantage. Maybe they're starting to stack up in power, so they could have actually turned the tide of the fight. But I'm hoping that FPT can just chip him down, along with our damage, to just finish him off. And it's kind of looking like so, although it's getting a bit dicey right now. And we just barely survived that. That was kind of scary. Now the leather boots we could take, because this will actually allow us to survive for a little while. Now we could craft up dragon boots, which And we could just craft up Dragon Skin Boot, but this is enter in Battle Rage. We want to survive to enter Battle Rage. So we might want to keep it just as leather boots, or even stone shoes. Let's take our shiny shell. The question is, do we want Wonky Snowman? Maybe. Do you want a Whetstone? I think I just roll for now. I'm also looking at this bag, which I think I'm going to take. That's a puzzle bag improvements, which I do honestly really want to grab. But it doesn't really help us out right now. It'll help us out in the future, but not right now. I was really hoping to find some gloves this round too. I think we got to keep our boots. I think I'm going to rock on because getting that 1 empower increases so much damage and so much weapons. Even though our stamina is going to be pretty decently bad. We'll see though. We do get our leather boots to give us our block, surviving for a little longer. We get to our battle rage and we get some lifesteal. But is it enough to actually win out because our opponent does have a lot of heals with all these little goblins. And they have a lot of flat damage as well. So unfortunately, this Berserker does just outpace us. You know, I did want this bit of storage. It does give us a puzzle bag of rune. Are we going to be inflicting too much debuffs? Not exactly. What I am going to take is this Ribsaw Blade. And I'm going to get rid of our shovel. And I'm going to get rid of our spear. And you know what? I'm going to take this Box of Riches. Box of Riches, take the stone. We roll again. That is a Hunger Blade. That is 1/2 of our Falcon Blade. We're going to be selling our Hero Sword. We're going to be selling a Hero Sword, and we're going to be selling... I do want to keep our Topaz really bad, but I'm going to sell it. So we can take our Hunger Blade. I'm also contemplating keeping our setup like this. So we can get our Hunger Blade to stack up a little bit more Vampirism. It doesn't get slowed down because we want that initial Vampirism stacked as much as possible. We might even want to take it outside our utility pouch. But we would definitely want it in our puzzle bag improvements along with our healing herbs. And yeah, this should be pretty darn good. But hey, you know what? I'm also going to sell our leather bag. And another leather bag. As crazy as that is, because I want to grab you, hoping that we can grab some more puzzle bags improvements. Just because I want to speed up our weapon situation. And I'm also contemplating speeding up both our weapons. Now this could be detrimental based on how much stamina we're going to be using up. But we'll see how we get on. We'll definitely see how we get on. Because it's going to be going insanely slow at the beginning. But we do want you to be removing buffs. Or removing skilling damage. That's what I meant. So while also skilling up our Vampirism. Our opponent does pretty much get rid of all our buffs. Which is going to be a huge problem for us. By far. While also inflicting a bunch of colds with the Frozen Buckler and the Ice Armor. So unfortunately, I'm pretty sure we might actually end up losing this one. So I'm going to speed up because it's going to be the longest fight in history. Although, actually, it could be even worse. We actually managed to win out. Did not expect that, to be honest. With the amount of cold on us and all our buffs gone. Yeah, it's how we're going to end up losing that. Now, that's Stone Shoes. Do we want the Stone Shoes? Stone Shoes is nice because it gives a bunch more block damage reduction for a longer period of time as well. I think I'm going to take it. There's also a Mana Orb if we do want it. Do we want to go Mana Buff stacking? We could potentially. The option is there. Since we do have our puzzle bag improvements, we have a 20% chance to duplicate those buffs. And if you go in here and have a look, we're going to have a 12% chance to duplicate the buffs you gain from our Tiger Rune. So if we get a bunch of these, we can duplicate that mana and the buffs it does give by an insane amount. So we could try to go for a big, huge mana buffing type builds with some Tiger Runes. So unironically, I'm going to take that. And I kind of want to craft up a Mana Thirst on top of it. I also want to grab you so we can get some mana generation from here. Definitely do want to craft up our Dragon Skin Boots. So now think about moving on with this. Do we want to craft up Mana Thirst? Are we going full on mana stacking or do we want to keep it? I think I'm going to try go full on mana stacking, as crazy that sounds. We definitely want to craft up our Stone Skin Boots. Let's get going. So we might get rid of our Ribsaw Blade, unless we get ourselves a Katana, which would be nice as well. But we'll see how we get on. We should generate up a lot of mana, which isn't going to really help us out too much whatsoever. And we still should be able to heal up for quite a bit. But we'll see, because we are facing a Burning Blade Turbo Shelly now. Luckily, they don't have that dragon just yet. And it's looking like we're definitely going to be able to win this one out. Since we do reduce their skilling damage on the Burning Blade. Awesome. We do manage to win out. And we do get a life back. And we do have to choose what we're going to go for. Because we could straight up just take Deerwood Guardian. Which is going to give us mana anyway. So it's hard to pass up on a Deerwood Guardian. Or do we want to go Shaman Mask? Because again, we could duplicate a lot of buffs with a bunch of Tiger Runes. Hawk Rune It does give us crit chance and crit damage, but it's not too crazy for us. Badge Rune, we can attack faster. We can also take a lot less damage during Battle Rage, which is kind of nice. Or we get Elfin Rune, which will give us a chance to stun our opponents, but also gives a bunch of max life as well. So I'm a little bit perplexed in what we should actually take, because this is just effectively exactly what we're trying to do, while also giving us damage reduction. As much as I'd love to take Shaman Mask, I think Deerwood Guardian is just going to be a huge play for us. I'm also looking at the cap resilience to reduce our opponent's healing. It'll also help us get to that 5 seconds, which I think the smart play is to just take that. We sell, or we take you, we sell this, we go ahead and grab this and craft it up. I'll be back in a second while I store the inventory. So I was actually thinking about moving on in this spot. So we should be able to generate up an insane amount of mana for Mana Thirst. We should be able to get a little bit more healing out of Deerwood Guardian. And we're going to enter Battle Rage in 5 seconds anyway. So slowing down our Deerwood Guardian isn't going to matter too much with a puzzle badge. So we should honestly be able to get this online. So by the time we do enter Battle Rage, this is just going to get a 50% activation speed from our puzzle badge, which is going to be awesome. And let's go ahead and move on. We should be able to duplicate it, have a chance to duplicate the amount of mana we're going to get. And we are facing a big old Red Ranger, except they're not going to have crits. They're going to stack up a lot of luck, but they have no crits, but they do have an insane amount of Vampirism to keep them super healthy. We're stacking up our mana right now. We just need a big old mana orb, and we should have crazy buff generation. But we'll see. All this mana isn't really going to do too much. It does trigger a Mana Thirst every 30 mana we do get, but opponent does have a lot of Vampirism. Now we did manage to overheal quite a bit with a False Life, but again, they have so much Vampirism that every hit is pretty much going to heal him back to full. So we definitely do not out-survive this. That's for sure. Now, if it was a katana, we would remove a lot of their buffs, giving us a bigger chance to win out. And also, if we did have this crafted up into Cap Discomforts, yeah, we probably had a good chance. I'm going to grab our storage, I'm going to grab the fanfare actually, and I'm going to roll again. That's a mana orb, and I immediately want to sell this. That's also a Shelly if you do want it. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to sell our piggy bank. We're going to sell our piggy bank to go ahead and grab ourselves this mana orb, because that's going to be way too much value for us. We definitely want it in this position. And it's actually looking insanely awesome for us right now. We should be able to generate up an insane amount of mana in this spot. We should be able to have Battle Rage for such a long period of time. And we do have fanfare to potentially scale up our mana along with our power. And we should be able to explode this, giving us a ton of buffs. Now, do we still want our Shelly? Yeah, definitely so. Let's move on with this for now though. We are facing Howl the Hateful Hat, which is going to help us scale up our own buffs. But they do have Cthulhu, which is going to be lots of heals and lots of lifesteal. But we'll see. Can we actually manage to outpace him? Because we should be able to get a big mana buff bomb, giving us insane power, some Vampirism, and a ton of regen. So, smashing. Now, we do got a couple of options. I mean, we could just take Time Melting, giving us 5 heat, but also giving us our Deerwood Guardians activations, basically giving us infinite Battle Rage, along with a Cap Discomfort, so we take damage reduction for a lot less time as well. Now, does it actually work with our puzzle badge? That'd be kind of funny. Increasing the duration we're going to have that slowed down. Or we could just straight up take Blood Manipulation, dealing 15% of our healing as damage. I think this is too good not to take, especially with our False Life, so hell yeah, I'm going to be taking it. And that's a big old perfect emeralds. Let's take a bit of storage, another puzzle bag improvements. Okay, I'm going to take that. Let's take our health pod too. I did want 2 fanny packs to speed up our Mana Thirst like crazy. However, getting a second puzzle bag improvements. I'm wondering if we want our Blood Manipulation inside our puzzle badge, or inside our improvement bag, or in this spot as well. Because getting that speed is going to be nice. But getting that extra buff could be awesome as well. Out of all these options, I think I'd just continue rolling. That is a freaking Prismatic Orb. It's hard to pass up on a Prismatic Orb, which is going to be a bunch of Vampirism for us. Yeah, I gotta take it. You also got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stones. So I'm going to sell 1 stone to go ahead and grab ourselves a set of blueberries. And let's get going once again. Because blueberries is going to be stacking up our luck, as well as mana. So it should be pretty nice. So if you do come across a blind stack and build, then our Ripsaw Blade is going to have no issues hitting whatsoever. We got a big mana buff bomb. We're nullifying a lot of their buffs with our Cap Discomforts. And we're stacking up a lot of max life. Our opponent is also stacking up an insane amount of max life as well, with lots and lots of power. So we could be in trouble. We'll see though. It's not looking too bad for us. We still have 420 life. Our opponent does only have 42. And we just need a little push, and hell yeah. Not too bad. We are stacking up an insane amount of mana. We just need to find ourselves some armor to place this in as well. I mean, we could just straight up put it in this for now. We also got a wood protector on sale. But let's take our prismatic orb. And that's all we can really afford right now. Now, we managed to get about 140 mana in the last run. So if we divide that by 5, should have been able to activate this 28 times. So 28 times 3 is going to be about 74 block, if I'm not wrong. 74 blocks, not bad. I'm also contemplating putting our Shelly in beside our puzzle badge. We would lose out on some nature items, but getting that increased speed on our Shelly is going to be really, really awesome. Now, Prismatic Orb could be sitting in this spot, mainly to give us our Vampirism as well as our mana. I'm also looking at this Bloody Amulet, because it will speed up our blood manipulation as well, while also giving us Vampirism for our Prismatic Orb. I'm going to take it, but let's get going once again. We're going to go full on Vampiric stacking type builds. Now, we are facing the meta Berserker build, except without the Shepherd's Crook. They're going to be stacking up a lot of max life, a lot of mana, and we'll see who's going to outpace who. Because we do reduce their scaling damage with a Rapesalt Blade on the Magic Torch, which is kind of nice. But they also got a lot of power. And they're about to get a big mana buff bomb themselves, and we could be in trouble in that regards. However, can we win out? They did lose their damage reduction, and we should be able to beat them out right now. We have 151 mana, and we do have some healing reduction on our opponents, so we should definitely be able to win out. Hell yeah. And that is an armor. We did say we wanted an armor. But let's grab you. I'm also contemplating grabbing the fanny pack. I'm also looking at this cheese. But let's grab our Bloody Amulet for now. I'm also really looking at this fanny pack, but I'm not going to take it. I'm just going to keep moving. We could grab ourselves a Stone Golem. Or Heart of Darkness. I mean, if we take the Heart of Darkness instead of Stone Golem, we would get 70% healing reduction. 4 in power. But a Stone Golem will give us a ton of block. So it is a bit of a hard chase. Let's take our Protectable first though. I mean, 70% healing reduction is kind of nuts. I think I actually want to go for the Heart of Darkness. Or am I crazy? But right now we do have 42% healing reduction, but imagine another 30%. Maybe it's a redundant. But if we do face healing builds, we can just potentially outpace them altogether once we do enter a Battle Rage. If we do enter a Battle Rage, which we didn't get a chance to, because our opponent did stun us non-stop. Which is kind of mad. The only problem with taking this Heart Container and crafting up into a Heart of Darkness is just way too much gold. I will, however, take this another blue gemstone. So do you want to go Stone Golem instead? So I did move our setup around just a small bit, so we can craft up our Stone Golem. But yeah, I'm definitely going to Stone Golem. I kind of still want to keep this though, so we can go for another Capital Comfort. Just nullifying our opponent's buffs is going to be awesome. But let's get our Stone Golem online. We moved our puzzle badge into this spot, speeding up our Prismatic Orb. I think that should be pretty darn sweet. And yeah, let's get going. Let's get going. Let's go ahead and craft up all our big blue gemstones, so we can keep getting block like crazy once we start stacking up infinite mana. But opponent does have a crossblades. It's going to be going pretty fast. It's going to be dealing a lot of damage. They do have some healing reduction on us. And we'll see how we get on. So far we're dealing some decent damage. We got a Striability and Smashing actually. Not too bad. And we're just about to get our Stone Golem, which is going to be nuts. However, we've got to take our bag of stones. The armor could be awesome. Let's take you. Let's roll. That's another big blue gemstone. But I really do want our storage, which does give us a puzzle bag of rune. Let's take you too. And let's keep going. Now that's a big old perfect emerald. Really wish it was a big blue gemstone. Now I'm also going to be taking this shiny shell. I'm going to take the shiny shell because that will increase your healing efficiency by just a small bit. That's going to be really, really awesome for us. We do need to figure out how we're going to fit our boots back in. I think all we can really do is slide this down just a little bit, add you in, put this in 2, and let's get going. We got our Stone Golem in the spot down below, so we should be able to get our block once we do activate our big mana buff bomb. And then we should be able to stack up our power. The problem is our Stone Golem doesn't go off till about 5 seconds into the fight. And we actually didn't get enough regen for Stone Golem, which is not ideal. Definitely not ideal. But we're dealing our big damage. We just need our Prismatic Orb to pop off once more, and it's going to give us our power, our regen for Stone Golem to pop off, giving us a bunch of block. And we'll see. Our opponent is stacking up an insane amount of power. With the Deerwood Guardian, it's going nuts. And unfortunately, yeah, we do end up falling short. We're down to our final life, which is pretty darn scary. Although, that's a big old Prismatic Orb once again. Okay, it's hard not to take it. I'm going to take it. I'm also going to take you two, and I'm going to craft you up as well. I'm going to roll. And we probably need to stamina sack. I was hoping to find some sort of regen, or another freaking mana orb. More mana orbs is going to be nuts. But let's move on with this. A single extra Prismatic Orb to stack up our Vampirism to also potentially give us a bunch more buffs. It's going to be nice. Because now every time we do activate one Prismatic Orb, we should be able to activate the second. Getting our Stone Golem online a lot faster, giving us our block, dealing our damage. Now our opponent does have a fancy rapier with lots of crits, and it's looking kind of scary, and we just barely survived that once again. And we actually end up with about a 50 DPS, while our opponent does have 100 DPS. In terms of heals, we managed to get about 47 healing per second, which is not too bad, with about 137 max life gains. Now in terms of block, we managed to get about 411 block as well, being our Sapphires, giving us a decent amount. So should we just take our points and run, or should we continue on? I mean, 4 points in potentially getting 8, we probably should just take our points and run. But I want to see if we can grab ourselves another mana orb. Although, Bloody Amulet, Stamina Sack, let's roll. I'm slightly moving this over a little bit more. And I'm looking at this for even more heal reduction. It's a lot of heal reduction, 30% is no joke as well. We would end up losing out on a gemstone, so I don't think I'm going to take it. I think I just roll for now. That is a Heart of Darkness. We would have to proc an insane amount of regen, so I don't think we can really afford to take it. I'm going to keep rolling. We could sacrifice a Ripsaw Blade for that reduced scaling damage just for a bunch of Vampirism. I'm going to sell it. I will be taking it. Now, we really want to craft up another Mana Thirst. If we can find ourselves another Mana Orb, that is going to be kind of nuts. I'm also looking at this Jin's Lamp, because we could end up activating our lamp for a bunch of damage. And we can also put our Hunger Blade in this spot so we can get even more Vampirism off the rip, which, yeah, gonna be down for it. Might as well add in some extra bit of healing or a bit of lifesteal on our weapon as well. Every bit of healing is going to be really fantastic. Now we are facing multiple little weapons with a Mercury Elemental. You also got a Stone Golem, they're going to be getting lots of block, so there's going to be lots of poison as well. Can we keep up? Because we got insane amounts of Vampirism, but still an insane amount of poison on us. So we could be in trouble still. Now, we're not activating our Stone Golem because we've used up all our regen to scale up our Vampirism. But I still think it's going to be worth it, because that is crazy Vampirism. And awesome. Definitely awesome. Now, this is the final one to craft, so I want to find ourselves another Mana Orb. I also want to find ourselves another cap. So I'm just going to roll. Take out the blue gemstones. Let's keep going. That's our cap. Let's take our tiny bit of storage. I was really hoping for another bag. Let's take you. Let's roll again. If you want any of these items, my color is kind of nice, but I'm not going to take it. And I'm going to sell our box of riches just to roll one more time. Even though we could use it, get a gemstone in the next rounds. Do we gamble for second Mana Thirst? I mean, the second Mana Thirst would be smashing. But we really do need our big mana buff bomb. So unfortunately, yeah, we're going to keep it this way. So let's get moving once again. We really do need it this way. We are facing a Molten Greatsword with crits and empower. This is going to be insanely scary. We also got some healing reduction, which is going to be problematic for us. But we'll see. They got lots and lots of block. We should be able to scale up our block as well. And potentially outpace them. But that Molten Greatsword does have a lot of empower. They do resurrect as well, but we should be able to win out by the looks of it, because we're healing back to full, and it's starting to deal some big damage again though. They do have a lot of max life, and we could be in trouble. I could be eating my own words. As long as we can just heal up a small bit, hell yeah. We did manage to outpace a Molten Greatsword. However, we've got our extra cap discomforts. We're going to be nullifying buffs like crazy while also having an insane amount of healing reduction. Basically, 60% between both our helmets with an extra 25%, which is really, really nice. Now let's go ahead and grab you. Puzzle bag of endurance. Well, yeah, we gotta take that. Because that is just literally going to give us that damage reduction for a longer period of time. I'm also looking at this unidentified amulet, so I'm gonna take that too. It's an amulet of darkness. Now, if we had a second mana thirst, this would be nuts. Now, I'm still gonna roll though. I'm gonna roll, see what else we can get. And we could have had our katana in that round, and that's a mana orb. We have to take this. I'm gonna sell this bag. I'm also contemplating selling this bag with our gemstones to go ahead and take a second mana orb. Just because it's gonna be way too much value for us. Let's sell this blue gemstone. And a little topaz, and let's go ahead and grab it. And it really does want to sit in this positioning so we can get a big mana buff bomb. The Amulet of Darkness is kind of nice. I'm contemplating putting it in this spot to lose out a little bit of vampirism. But I do like these the way they are. What I could do is just place our Amulet of Darkness in a slightly worse position. Having it in this spot, targeting our Deerwood Guardian most of all. I think it's going to have to do. But this is going to be our final builds. A big mana buffing, mana thirsting puzzle badge. False life, blood manipulation type builds. We only got one more round to go. Is it going to be good enough to win out? We'll have to see. And we are facing an opponent who is going to be inflicting a hell of a lot of poison with the smelly wall as well. And we're also going to be reducing our healing with that doom cap. It's quite a bit of healing reduction. Our opponent does have 85% healing reduction as well, but they are just going all in on block. Now, we should be able to get quite a bit of block with our blue gemstones, which is exactly what we wanted as well. And our stone golem potentially isn't doing too much for us, since we're not going to be able to activate it. But we should be able to get a second big mana buff bomb, giving us even more value, which is going to be incredible potentially. But that's 120 poison on us. We got to beat him right now before this poison does end up smashing us down. And it's looking a bit dicey right now. Although, it's going to be in our favor by looks, for hell yeah. Not even close by the end of it. Now overall our DPS was about 52 DPS. Definitely could have been a lot higher. But our opponent did have a lot of damage reduction with the Sir Sand along with the Cap Resilience as well. And they also reduced their healing by quite a bit. Now in terms of heals, we still managed to get, with 100% healing reduction, a whopping 123 health gain. With about 117 max life. It's not too insane. In terms of block, we managed to get about 320 block. But one of our saving graces is possibly the Stone Shoe. It's reducing the damage from the Serpent Staff, delaying their poison stacking by quite a bit. While also having that increased damage reduction, so we can get to our Battle Rage, get a big mana buff bomb, and unfortunately Stone Golem didn't really get to do as much as I'd like to. But we did survive 2 lives left. Let's go and see just how much rank points we managed to get. +8. Ranking us up to 25. But yeah, I'm going to leave you here for now. Just want to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, or even consider subscribing. And I hope to keep a lookout for the next one. I'll see you next time. Okay, we're back in some round 18 fights. And we're going to see how we can deal with some other builds. And we're facing a big ball of treats. Pumpkin, Thornbloom type situation. They're going to be stacking up a lot of power, which means stacking up their max life. They also got some vampirism. And they're going to be potentially stun us with the pumpkin as well. But we have 1000 max life, we're dealing their damage and smashing. Hell yeah. Now can we deal with this Burning Blade dragons with double claws attack? This is actually pretty interesting, because they're going to get a lot of damage. Lots of pineapples for lots of stacking spikes to speed up those claws attacks insanely fast, except their defenses is pretty much a helmet and a turbo shelly. And can we deal with another fancy fencing rapier? They're going to have crazy speed on it, they're going to have crazy crits, they're going to be stacking up their luck to scale up their damage, and we'll see. Because we got insane buffs right now, we're dealing lots of damage, and hell yeah, not too bad.